Imagine this. 500 years ago, a man sat in exile, broke, disgraced, and forgotten. His name was Niccolò Machiavelli. Everyone thought his career was over. But instead of fading into obscurity, he wrote something so unsettling, so brutally honest, that the Catholic Church tried to bury it, and rulers across Europe swore never to speak his name again. Why? Because he exposed the truth about human nature, truths we still refuse to admit today. And here's the shocking part. What Machiavelli uncovered about women, relationships, and loyalty is so raw, so brutally real, that even now society tries to cover it up with fairy tales about true love and happily ever after. But tonight, we're tearing down the illusions. This isn't another cynical rant about dating. It's not a complaint, not an ideology, and definitely not a weapon. This is a journey into the psychology of attraction, commitment, and betrayal. And according to Machiavelli, there is one motive, one single driving force, powerful enough to explain why love flourishes, why passion dies, and why women choose some men while leaving others behind. Stay with me, because once you hear this, you'll never look at relationships the same way again. Machiavelli terrified the world because he refused to write about people as they pretend to be. He wrote about them as they actually behave. While others praised honor, loyalty, and morality, Machiavelli observed something darker, but more honest. He saw that when circumstances change, so does affection. When resources vanish, so does loyalty. And when danger arrives, betrayal follows. He didn't condemn this, he simply documented it. He believed that all humans, kings, soldiers, priests, lovers, husbands, and yes, women, are guided not by ideals, but by incentives, by survival, by emotional and material benefit. Now, here's where it gets uncomfortable. Society has always judged women's motivations more harshly than men's. Women were expected to be driven purely by romance, devotion, and morality. But Machiavelli saw through the illusion. He recognized that women, like men, make decisions based on risk, reward, safety, and opportunity. And that honesty made him dangerous. Because if you strip away the fantasy that love is unconditional, you're forced to see relationships for what they really are. Fragile agreements that last only as long as they remain mutually beneficial. Think about it. We live in a culture that markets love as destiny, chemistry, or magic. But Machiavelli understood something more grounded. Desire has context. Attraction isn't random. Affection isn't free. Commitment isn't guaranteed. People stay where their needs are met and leave where they aren't. And for women, historically, the stakes have always been higher. Their survival, reputation, and freedom often depended on the quality of their partner. That's why female psychology evolved around discernment, evaluation, and risk management. Not because women are manipulative, but because they had no choice. So here's the brutal truth. Beneath every love story, every romantic fantasy, there's a quiet negotiation happening. The question women have asked for centuries, and still ask today, is simple. Will this partnership improve my life or endanger it? And that's where Machiavelli's insight cuts deeper than any modern dating advice. Because when you understand this, you stop chasing illusions and start seeing love for what it really is. If you're still watching, it means you're ready to hear truths most people run from. So hit that subscribe button right now, because in the next few minutes, we're going to uncover the one thing, the only thing, women truly want. And trust me, it's not what you think. Now, before we reveal that ultimate truth, we have to unlearn a massive lie. For generations, men have been sold a dangerous myth about what makes a good partner. We are taught to expect endless sacrifice. We celebrate the idea of someone staying through thick and thin, even when the dynamic becomes completely unbalanced. But let's look at this through Machiavelli's lens. To him, staying in a situation that constantly drains your resources or emotional well-being isn't noble, it's foolish. And deep down, human biology agrees. If a relationship becomes a constant state of loss, The most natural, healthy response is to withdraw. Here's the part most men struggle to accept. Women are often told their purpose is sacrifice, to forgive endlessly, to stay loyal no matter what, to give more than they receive. Society romanticizes female selflessness while criticizing female standards. Machiavelli would call that manipulation. He believed the opposite, that maintaining self-interest is a sign of psychological strength, not moral failure. A woman who protects her emotional, physical, and financial well-being isn't selfish. She's rational. And any relationship that demands she abandon her needs isn't love. It's dependency disguised as devotion. This changes everything. It reframes the question from, why do women want what they want, to, why wouldn't they? Across centuries, cultures, and social systems, one pattern repeats. A woman stays when the relationship enriches her life, and she leaves when it diminishes it. That enrichment can mean emotional connection, safety, admiration, partnership, intellectual stimulation, sexual compatibility, shared ambition, or simply the feeling of being seen and supported. It's rarely shallow, despite the stereotypes. In fact, Machiavelli would argue it's grounded in remarkable emotional intelligence. But here's the trap many men fall into. They assume consistency is guaranteed once love is declared. They believe effort can stop once commitment is secured. They confuse early attraction with permanent loyalty. And when a woman withdraws, they misinterpret it as irrational or sudden. Machiavelli would say the signs were always there. The incentive shifted. The exchange became unbalanced. The emotional return declined. And because women are conditioned, biologically and socially, to notice destabilization faster than men, they respond earlier and more decisively. This is why betrayal feels shocking to those who never examine the foundation of their relationship. They assumed love was an unbreakable promise. Machiavelli knew better. Love is a living contract, and like any contract, it requires ongoing value to remain valid. So what is the one thing women truly want? Not perfection, not wealth, not dominance, beauty, or status. Those are surface details that fade with time. The only thing women want, the foundation beneath everything else, is security. Not just financial security, but emotional, psychological, and relational security. The security of being understood rather than managed. The security of being respected rather than tolerated. The security of knowing that loyalty won't turn into exploitation, that affection won't fade into indifference, and that commitment won't rot into complacency. Security doesn't mean safety from life. It means safety in partnership. And when that security disappears, Machiavelli would say the relationship is already over, whether either person admits it or not. This isn't a condemnation of women. It's a recognition of their wisdom. Because security makes love sustainable. Security allows vulnerability, intimacy, trust, and long-term emotional investment. Without it, everything collapses. So if you want lasting love, don't chase fantasy. Don't demand unconditional devotion. Don't rely on promises. Create security within yourself, within your life, and within your relationship. Provide what sustains attachment, not just what sparks attraction. Because the only thing women want is the only thing all humans want. A partnership where their self-interest, identity, and future are protected rather than threatened. And once you understand that, you stop trying to be chosen and start becoming someone worth choosing.